person who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively. It's not Justin Baldoni.
Candace's recent revelations, which she claims are from a reliable source, could be the key to unraveling the whole mystery surrounding the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni brouhaha.
Candace Owens just released a shocking secret that could destroy Blake Lively. In her whole PR machinery, person who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay, and that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively, it's not Justin Baldoni. Candace's recent revelations, which she claims are from a reliable source, could be the key to unraveling the whole mystery surrounding the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni brouhaha, and the person says that from that day forward he started involving himself, that he basically became a chaperone for her. On set he was there basically every day, involved in the projects, wanting to rewrite lines and suddenly trying to wrangle this project from Justin Baldoni. Okay, and that is when this person was a strong contact. I felt good receiving this information from another person who said that it was Ryan Reynolds who marched into WME, which is Endura. It's also called Endeavor. It is the biggest talent agency in the world. Every celebrity is under there, from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni, and said it's us or it's him, like you're going to drop Justin Baldoni or you're going to lose all of us. Candace also exposed a darker side of Blake Lively that most fans never saw, but it explains exactly what she's doing to Justin Baldoni right now. Congrats on your little bump. Congrats on your little bump. What about my bump? You've got two nice ones, and these, they are kind of bumps, aren't they? No, not bumps, the lovely lady lumps. Shocking, right? And trust me, we're just getting started. We've got all the jaw-dropping details coming up, so buckle up, because this takedown is about to get scorching. Now that you're settled in, let's begin. On her recent podcast, Candace Owens revealed that Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, was behind the theatrics and legal drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. But why did Ryan Reynolds step in? Keep that thought in mind while you watch the clip we're about to show you. But it is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan started the fire, allegedly. Don't gag order or sue me, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I don't want to be involved in your drama. I'm just telling my audience what I was told. He goes into Blake Lively's trailer and they have an argument, and all the production assistants overheard the argument. Okay, now what was at the root of that argument? We don't know, but we can assume had something to do with what he saw in these dailies, what he read in the script. Who even knows what led him to even visit on this day? And the person says that from that day forward he started involving himself, that he basically became a chaperone for her. ONS said he was there basically every day, involved in the projects, wanting to rewrite lines, and suddenly Ryan Reynolds was trying to wrangle this project from Justin Baldoni. Okay, and that is when this person was a strong contact. I felt good receiving this information from another person who said that it was Ryan Reynolds who marched into WME, okay, which is Endeavor. It's also called Endeavor. It is the biggest talent agency in the world. Every celebrity is under there, from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni, and said it's us or it's him, like you're going to drop Justin Baldoni or you're going to lose all of us. We don't know about you, but suddenly everything is starting to make way too much sense. Let's be honest, Blake Lively isn't exactly running Hollywood from a secret underground lair. She doesn't have the star power to single-handedly get Justin Baldoni booted from WME, the biggest talent agency in the world. And let's not forget, her accusations are still just that, accusations completely unproven. In A court of law, yet somehow WME dropped Baldoni like a hot potato just days after the allegations went public. Yeah. Something smells fishy. It's almost like someone, maybe a certain A-list member of the Dragon Squad, gave the agency a little nudge in the right direction. This is textbook woke mob behavior. Cancel first, ask questions never, and an I. Obviously that has a little bit of weight at Endeavor. If you're friends with Taylor Swift, Brian Reynolds, this is his thing. He's a Taylor Swift of the movie industry. When he gets upset with somebody, he puts them into a script. This might sound strange, but we have the receipts that prove Candace Owens nailed it, which we'll show you in a bit. But before we get there, let's connect the dots so you can see the full picture. Remember when Baldoni leaked that text where Lively bragged about having 2 dragons ready to do her bidding? Yeah, one of them was obviously her husband Ryan Reynolds. But here's where things get really interesting. Reynolds isn't just one of Lively's dragons. He's the alleged mastermind pulling the strings behind the scenes, the grand architect, the puppet master, the real power player orchestrating this whole mess. And when you see the receipts, you'll understand why this changes everything. Ryan Reynolds doesn't launch direct attacks on his opponents. No, he takes the subtle route by writing them into a script. Don't believe us? Just ask TJ Miller, who revealed how Reynolds personally suggested a scene between them in Deadpool, only to turn around and obliterate him on set once he agreed. We had a really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, "Let's do one more take," and everyone was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me, Katha, as if I'm Weasel, right? So he was like, "You know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition that is funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie." The whole crew was acting weird, and I went up to Kate and I was like, "That was weird, right?" And she was like, "Of course it was weird. It was insane." Now you might think this is just a coincidence, but we've got more receipts proving this is exactly Ryan Reynolds' signature move. Some scenes from the recent Deadpool films show Reynolds taking what looks like direct shots at Baldoni for daring to fight back. Here you can see Ryan Reynolds slipping in a not so subtle jab at Baldoni over those steamy intimacy scenes with Blake Lively, and let's be honest, people were quick to point out the real reason behind it. Good old-fashioned jealousy. I mean, imagine watching another guy play Romeo to your wife on screen. Ouch. So naturally, Reynolds does what he does best. He turns his passive aggression into a punchline. That's why you can hear him dramatically screaming for the intimacy coordinator.
Congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got 2 nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps.
If that
At the end, as if Hollywood suddenly developed morals. Classic Ryan when in doubt deflects with humor. Here's another clip where the A-lister took another dig at Baldoni. I'd be fighting alongside them, but my calling is to one day host a podcast that monetizes the women's now. If this dig at Justin Baldoni isn't obvious, we don't know what is. Baldoni is a co-host on the Man Enough podcast, which frequently tackles issues concerning women in Hollywood, and what better way for Reynolds to strike back than by using his own Hollywood megaphone. His movies. Reynolds has a history of disguising his attacks as harmless jokes, whether it's a subtle shade or a full-on roast. He always ensures his targets get the message loud and clear without ever having to call them out directly, and because his humor is so quick and self-deprecating, it flies under the radar for casual fans. While industry insiders know exactly who he's talking about, it's a brilliant but ruthless tactic. Imagine watching a blockbuster only to realize the main punchline is you. If Baldoni thought this feud was staying behind closed doors, he clearly underestimated Reynolds's pettiness. Did something happen between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively? That's my question. Do y'all see where Candace Owens is going with this? If not, let us break it down for you. Candace seems to suggest that something highly questionable might have gone down between Baldoni and Lively, something that put Ryan Reynolds on high alert. And let's face it, Reynolds isn't exactly the type to hover around his wife's movie sets for fun. The man was practically glued to the production, always nearby, always watching. Coincidence maybe, but it sure raises eyebrows when you realize he wasn't just supporting Lively, he was chaperoning her like an overprotective dad at prom. Was it jealousy? Was it suspicion? Or did Reynolds already know something shady was happening and decided to keep an eye on things himself? Either way, his constant presence speaks volumes, and if Owens is right, this whole scandal is messier than we ever imagined. This fan seems to have a perfect appreciation of what probably happened behind the scenes. Blake wanted Justin. Justin said no. Blake got embarrassed. Ryan got jealous. Blake and Ryan smeared. Justin got it once again. We're not saying anything, just following the trends. Another commenter also wrote, I think her narcissistic ego is badly hurt. Because is he rejecting her, and her husband is jealous? Another also agreed. Ryan is having a jealous meltdown, and Blake wanted to get with Justin, but I think she got rejected. Explains why both of them are going after him, but his like, hang on, I've got receipts. But here's an interesting twist that we didn't expect, and it might surprise you too. Congrats on your little bump. Congrats on your little bump. What about my bump? You've got two nice ones, and these they are kind of bumps, aren't they? No, not bumps, the lovely lady lumps. If that clip feels suspicious, that's because it absolutely is. There was Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' very married wife, casually making comments about another woman's bosom. Mind you, that wasn't even the topic of discussion, but Lively went there anyway, as if that was the only thing on her mind, and the woman in question, clearly uncomfortable, but forced to smile through it like a pro. Now here's where things get really interesting. If Lively had the nerve to publicly make that kind of comment, what exactly is she capable of saying or doing behind closed doors? Again, we're not outright claiming anything, but let's just say after watching that clip we can't help but raise an eyebrow or two. Mind you, this clip started making rounds last year, tanking the reputation of Lively. Interestingly, she was the first to file a complaint against Baldoni for allegations. Suddenly, okay, right before Christmas on December 20th, Blake Lively filed a complaint against Justin Baldoni and others in California claiming sexual harassment. She filed a complaint at first, not a lawsuit. Okay, so on December 20th she had filed a complaint with the Californian Civil Rights Department. She files it on December 20th, and lo and behold, on the 21st, the day after, somehow the New York Times gets a hold of it. It's painfully obvious that this entire fiasco was carefully orchestrated by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to salvage Lively's reputation while simultaneously burying Justin Baldoni, striking two birds with one perfectly calculated stone. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when the woke elite wants someone gone, they don't just cancel them, they erase Them Candace Owens sees right through the hypocrisy and isn't afraid to call out this power couple for playing dirty. The woke mob never attacks head, and they manipulate narratives, twist public perception, and let the media do the heavy lifting. First they paint themselves as the victim, then they manufacture outrage, and before you know it, their enemy is blacklisted without a shred of real evidence. It's the same old Hollywood playbook, just with shinier PR packaging, and in this case Baldoni is the latest target of their well-oiled cancellation machine. Interestingly, Piers Morgan also saw through the theatrics and reserved some spicy comments for Blake Lively. Take a listen. The Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively, which seems to me initially I felt quite sorry for Blake Lively. Then I've been reading all the messages between them all and up, which he's been putting out obviously, and it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists now, spray gunning each other with as much dirt as they could possibly do, having spewed lovey-dovey stuff to each other for months on. Piers Morgan didn't hold back, calling Blake Lively a weapon-grade narcissist for thinking she could just waltz in and hijack a movie that wasn't even her idea to begin with. But hey, that's wokeness for you, always laying claim to things that don't belong to them and expecting applause for it. The entitlement is almost impressive, but here's where things get even juicier. Near the end of the clip, Piers drops another bombshell, pointing out that before their public feud, Lively and Baldoni had been showering each other with lovey-dovey praise for months on end. Now we're not outright saying something was going on between them, but let's just say the whole thing smells fishier than a seafood market at noon. And if you ask us, this little feud might just be the cover-up for a much bigger story. That'll be all for today, folks. If you loved our spicy commentary, then leave us a like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.